Moving on, the government of Nagaland is working on a standard operating procedure to make arrangements for the stranded people who would be returning back to the state from across the country. The state government is making sure that a required quarantine and other protocols are put in place before the arrival of the stranded back into the state. This was done as a result of the centre's decision to resume special passenger trains on the 11th of May, which threw the state's plan of bringing back the stranded in a staggered manner out of the window. Meanwhile, several civil societies, tribal ho-hos and NGOs have appealed to the stranded citizens not to come back at this juncture unless it is unavoidable. The state government appreciated them, given the fact that states bringing in stranded people from affected parts of the country have resulted in an increase of COVID-19 cases. The state government therefore has decided to give first priority to stranded senior citizens and patients who had gone out for medical treatment, along with those facing repatriation to the state. The government has also decided to give away rupees 10,000 each to the citizens of Nagaland who are presently staying outside and have opted to stay back. Well, and to tell us more on this development from Nagaland, I'm being joined now live by my colleague Sarah Konyak from Nagaland, Kohima. Yes, well, Sarah, definitely this comes as a big development as a standard operating procedure is in place to make arrangements for all the stranded people who will be arriving back to their home state. So what are the latest details you're receiving regarding this at the moment, Sarah?
Yes, Ronak, initially around 18,200 people had registered themselves with the government portal, I Am Stranded, the portal that was initiated by the state government for all those stranded citizens of Nagaland outside the state to register themselves in order to return back home. But however, after the government's announcement for the resumption of train services, the state government in a release issued late last night said that it had all plans made by the government have been thrown out of gear due to the announcement of the resumption of the train services, and the state government will be drafting a new standard operating procedures in order to ensure that all quarantine facilities and other protocols are put in place before these stranded people come back to the state. And the government have also decided that out of those 18,200 people, the first priority will be given to the senior citizens and those people who had gone out for medical treatment. In addition to that, the government have also announced that they will be assisting to those Nagaland citizens outside the state who opt to stay back and not to return home with a sum of rupees 10,000. But Ronak, I would also like to add here that initially when the lockdown had started and the government assistance that was given out to the Nagaland citizens outside the state, a sum of rupees 3,000 and 4,000. Many had registered, many have benefited from this from the government as well, but there are many who have complained that although they have registered themselves, they have not yet received the said amount, the assistance by the state government. So it is a big question as to how the state government is going to actually work on all these things, giving out a sum of rupees 10,000 to those people who opts to stay back.
Right, absolutely. Well, Sarah, definitely this also comes as a good sort of initiative for people to, stay back and by giving them rupees 10,000 from the government authorities. So tell us a little bit more on that, Sarah.
Yes. Adding to all these things, earlier in the dashboard, government dashboard, we were informed by the government that they have identified around 26,000 people, out of which 6,000 were students, 16,000 were working people, and 300 patients. So it is a big number, and the state have already declared that the state is going through a financial crisis, and the announcement to give away a sum of rupees 10,000 to all those stranded people who opts to stay back is a big announcement. announcement, and this is going to be a very big challenge for the state government as well. At the same time, the Chief Minister of Nagaland have also convened a meeting today in Dimapur with all the civil societies and NGOs to work out on the new plans to seek their advice and decisions, as many NGOs and CSOs have been appealing to all those stranded people outside the state to stay back and not to come back to the state unless it is unavoidable, because we have seen as Nagaland continues to remain COVID-free state, there are high chances that all those people who are coming, some may be coming from the green zone, some may be from the orange and the red zone. So there is a high chances that that cross-infection or any such thing may happen. So appeal has been made by a large section of people to those outside the state not to return unless it is unavoidable. And the Chief Minister will be holding a meeting today in Dimapur at 11:30, where certain decisions will be taken on this.
Right, absolutely. Indeed, a very good incentive that has been taken up by the Nagaland government, this of giving away 10,000 people who do opt to stay back where they are currently in the country. Well, thank you very much for joining me at this point in time, Sarah Konyak, with all those latest updates.